Brrrr. That's a nice opener of a podcast episode. For everyone listening, it's brrrr. It's 5 degrees, feels like -3. And I'm joined here by Sylvia. Where are we?
Where are we? We are at Bellamyplein in Amsterdam.
We're back in Amsterdam.
In West, Old West,
West side.
in the West Side.
It's my old neighborhood, so I'm glad to be back here. And we were hoping for some sunshine, so we have to do it ourselves and be the sunshine.
We are the sun.
We're the sun on the bench. Hey everyone, it's Robin here. I'm the host of the podcast, the Good Place podcast channel. For everyone listening to this channel for the first time, it's a podcast about life and about the place you live in. And I invite citizens alike to join me on this public bench and have a conversation about what a good place is. It depends on their own backgrounds, why they made the certain decisions. It's a very open conversation. And today I'm here joined by Sil, as said. And actually we know each other for quite some time, but we lost track for what we think almost 10 years. So it's also, see this as a reunion episode.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, Sil, what do you do and how does your life look like in Amsterdam?
Well, my life in Amsterdam is a mix of Dutch life and Colombian life, or Latin American life, I would say. Do I need to hold it?
You can.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I live here next to Bellamyplein for like almost 6 years now. And before I was living in Bogota in Colombia. And my home base, let's say, is here around the corner, but I come very often in Colombia or Brazil, Mexico, any country in Latin America.
Yeah.
And my partner is Colombian, already 9 years now. So I switch a little bit between, Colombia and the Netherlands and Amsterdam and Bogota. And what I do, I have two things. I work at the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam at the international office, and I'm focused on Latin America, of course. Setting up, no surprise, setting up research collaboration. And I also have my own company as an interculturalist, an intercultural trainer, specialized in Latin America. So I provide training mostly for companies and teams where, for example, Dutch work together with Colombians, and I help them to understand each other better, basically.
From a cultural perspective, not
Yes.
only a language perspective.
No,
Okay.
yeah, language is part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, culture comes in. Also, it's not only focused on the cultural differences, but also on the bridges we can build and the similarities we have. Because in the end, I heard this in a podcast a couple of days ago from, I forgot his last name, but he's called Aryan, and he wrote a book and the title is Cultures Don't Meet, People Do.
Okay. Nice.
So I think it's important to keep it in mind that we are not only focusing on the differences, but also on similarities and how we can, understand each other, no matter the background.
I would love to read that book.
Yeah.
People meet, or cultures. Well, so people meet, not cultures.
Yeah.
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 Where did this love and passion about Latin America exist? I mean, when did it start?
Yeah. So I have my own theory about this.
That's why we're here.
So when I introduce myself during a training, I always show a picture of me as a little girl on the lap of my grandmother in the south of Switzerland. So
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't expect that one. No.
So, but in the south of Switzerland, So my family, part of my family, still lives there, and they live in a tiny town in the middle of the mountains. And the people there are called Ticinos, and they speak Italian. So my name is Sylvia, and for example, my cousin's name is Moreno, and my father is called Martino Segundo Benino. So my theory is that, yeah, from my, let's say, roots from the Ticinos, there is something Latin there.
Okay.
And I used to go there every holiday, well, with my family to see my family there. My first steps were also in the south of Switzerland. So I think something started.
So it's in your blood.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
You are a bit Latin.
maybe. Yeah, Ticino. I'm a bit Ticino. So
Nice.
yeah, and then from a very young age, I started to tell my parents that I wanted to live abroad when in the future as a grown up. And well,
But did you already know when you were young child that you wanted to do something with Latin America?
no.
Okay.
No, I knew I wanted to live abroad, and I was always interested in Southern Europe, so Italy, Spain, Portugal. So when I was 20, I started to learn Spanish. I visited our friend in common, Cassandra, in Alicante, and yeah, they were doing a student exchange.
Yeah.
And I really,
And I was in Toronto.
yeah, you were in Toronto. Yeah. Why did you choose Toronto?
I just want to be as far as away from as possible. I mean, if you get an opportunity like that, why not?
Yeah.
For me, Europe felt Europe, like I can go there anytime.
Yeah.
But going for a longer period somewhere at the other side of the world, I mean, yeah. And there were not that many options, so I thought, yeah, let's try to go to Canada.
Yeah.
But then still, I don't speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah. So I went to Spain in the first place, to Sevilla, to learn Spanish, and I lived there for 4 months. In the beginning, I didn't like it. I felt very lonely, and then at the end, I loved it, and I didn't want to go back to the Netherlands. And then when I was around 27 years old, now I'm 39, I traveled for the first time to South America, 4 months, and almost 10 years ago to Colombia. And there it all started. Yeah, so...
Tell us more.
Yeah,
It was a cliffhanger. There it all started.
there it all started. Yeah. I arrived in Lima, in Peru, and I was afraid because everyone told me that it's really dangerous in South America. But yeah, I also wanted to leave Europe, and I wanted something more adventurous and different, and yeah, I wanted to explore a different world. Yeah, and I don't know. I think I arrived and I felt at home. So there is something in Latin America, some places more than others, of course, where I feel at home. So I think it's the chaos. I love big cities in South America or also in Mexico. So I love Mexico City, Lima, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Bogota, like these cities with 10 million people where there's chaos and noise and music and everyone speaking Spanish. And I don't know, I think I'm a chaotic, organized person. So then, yeah, my chaotic part meets in those cities.
Yeah.
And I love to dance. So since I was a little girl, I was taking dance class and doing street dance, hip hop, those kind of things. And well, in Latin America you can dance everywhere, and people love to dance, and I like to dance together. And that's what I found. I think my passion is a combination of dance and chaos.
And that's also where you connected with local culture,
Yeah.
with locals.
Yeah, yeah. And I love to speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So there are articles written about language and what happens to your personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I am in Dutch, I'm the Dutch Sil, and in Spanish, I'm the Spanish Sil. And I'm a,
So two identities.
yeah, or more, because I also speak a bit of Portuguese
Okay.
from Brazil, not from Portugal.
But those are more closer related.
Yeah.
The Brazilian Sil is equal somehow same identity as the more Spanish Sil.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So what people say, how language also changes you as a person.
Yeah.
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 Maybe I come across differently when I speak English or German
Yeah.
than I do in Dutch.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you can be the judge of that.
Ah. Let's see at the end of the podcast. Yeah.
Cool. And so do you like the Spanish Sil
Yeah.
more than the Dutch Sil?
Sometimes I like more the Spanish Sil. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, this has to do with the ego, because when I'm in Colombia, I am more special. Yeah, I stand out more. I feel people approach me like, oh my God, I speak Spanish and my accent is a bit from Bogota, Rolo, they say, and I use slang. So then I can impress everyone every time. It's like, oh my God, you know? And also with the dancing. So if I go anywhere in Colombia or Latin America, I go dancing salsa. People come to me to tell me, oh my God, you can dance so well salsa. So then I feel, you know, that has to do with my ego, but then I feel more special. It's like, oh, wow, cool. Yeah.
So ego, talking about ego in a positive way. Do people think you are look like a Dutchie or coming from Europe?
Yeah, I will never blend in. No way.
But I mean, like, I don't know, like even so I've never been, yeah? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that's totally fine. But I see sometimes people in Argentina, they look quite European or
yeah.
so on, but still they're Latin.
Yeah. I blend in Brazil, because in Brazil I can be Brazilian because there's a lot of people with different backgrounds, with German background, for example. So when I'm in Sao Paulo, I have a good friend there, and I know him from a dance school here, and we dance forró, which is a Brazilian dance, and it's not
Okay.
so famous, but it's very nice. And it comes from the northeast of Brazil,
Okay.
and it was invented for actually the European foreigners coming to Brazil, and they invented this dance style, which is actually for all. So it's kind of easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called forró.
Okay. I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I'm in Sao Paulo, I go with him to a forró party, and I don't speak. I just dance, and then people think I'm Brazilian. Yeah. Till I start to talk in Portuguese and I have an accent. They're like, "Oh, you're not from here." It's like, "No, I'm Dutch." It's like, "Whoa."
Ego.
Exactly. It's like, "Oh yeah."
I started
Yeah.
to get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But in Colombia, I will never blend in. No.
Well, maybe that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, hearing you talk so passionately about Colombia, Brazil, why Amsterdam? Freezing your butt off on a bench.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Why are we here? Why do you live here? Why are you in the Netherlands?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's too comfortable.
Yeah, it's our comfort zone. It's what we know. Well, I'm in Amsterdam because my family is from Amsterdam. So I grew up in Hoofddorp, which is okay till you are like 14 years old, and then it becomes very boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, first I lived in Haarlem, but only because I couldn't find a place here in Amsterdam. And then I moved here.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Where do you where do you like live? Like where do you like it most? Amsterdam or say Bogota?
It depends. It depends. If I want a good salsa party, I like it more in Bogota. If I want to walk around the street or bike home alone at 4 a.m. in the morning, I like it more in Amsterdam because it's not so safe in Bogota, right? So here I feel more comfortable, more safe. But it's also sometimes a little bit boring. Yeah. So if I want chaos, adventure, good dance places, I like Bogota more. But if I want to be safe and comfortable and close to my friends and family, I like Amsterdam more. Yeah. So.
And you, of course, you have a, if I may share, a Colombian partner, right?
Yeah.
So, would you prefer to find a place where you can have all in one, or do you like to have, yeah, these kind of? Would you like to live in multiple cities?
Yeah, so sometimes we have been talking about Spain, for example,
Okay.
because it's kind of a middle point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it has a little bit of both worlds, maybe. But it's Spain still, right? Which is a lovely country, but it's not the same. So ideally, I would live in winter somewhere in Brazil or Colombia and in summer in Amsterdam. But yeah, I need to make more money to make it happen.
To be able to live in both cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that would be something that I would like to, work on and if possible, live. Yeah, this sounds like a good lifestyle.
And also, what triggers me, talking to you are the whole aspect of cultural differences, right? I mean, sure, we can talk about you can dance there and
Yeah.
you can cycle there,
Yeah.
but what's that with the cultural differences that you think you admire so much on both sides? Probably you also see that in your work.
Yeah, in my work, in my relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I
Is it more about the connection with people? That those are the differences that we started off with.
yeah, of course. Like when I'm in Colombia and I'm working or seeing friends, like not cultures meet but people.
Yeah.
Then I also I'm confronted with the differences or similarities or whatever, and well, there's always a disclaimer, right? So it's not that when I say Dutch people are punctual and Colombians are working with flexible time, it means something is better or worse or whatever. It's just that we work in different ways or we do things in different ways, and I think we can learn from each other, and we can become more cultural sensitive and kind of transform our personality in a more flexible way to be able to work in different countries and to make friends.
To adapt.
Yeah, to adapt and to have friends with different backgrounds, which is also, of course, happening in Amsterdam, because I think here we have like more than 100 cultures or people living with different backgrounds.
I think 180, I think. Something.
Yeah.
There's a book, I think.
Yeah.
180 nationalities.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your fascination about these cultural differences or working with cultural differences?
Well, I started my company after living in Colombia because I want to help people who struggle with it because it can be quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So the first year in Bogota was fun and interesting, but also hard, and I was struggling a lot. And I felt pretty lonely in the process, and I thought I was someone like weird or different. Till I figured out there is something called culture shock, and there's a book, The Culture Map, from Ari Meyer, and like a lot of books talking about this. But I had no clue. So all my life I was dreaming about living abroad and romanticizing it, till I actually did it, and then I realized, oh wow, this is not so romantic. It is actually starting a whole new life from scratch, far away from my family and friends, and out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, it kind of,
And it's something that a lot of people
Yeah.
are facing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's why that's why I'm fascinated about it. So I started to read about it, well, listen to podcasts. I wanted to learn more about how it works, what it does, how you can cope with it. And, well, now I know so much about it that I like to
Sure.
share and help other people with the same struggles.
And there's also, I mean, I get it with the link on Latin America, but there could be, I mean, of course, aside of the language stuff,
Yeah.
there are truths in there that can be applicable to many other cultures and nationalities,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
To everyone, actually, like, in the end, this is all about communication and relationships you build with someone else or a group of other people, and how you behave and how you cope and how you react.
Yeah.
And I think all this has to do with self-awareness and self-reflection, and how open-minded you try to be or approach
Yeah.
situations. So, yeah, I always try not to assume, keep an open mind, and put my cultural lens or glasses. And it all has to do with your perspective. So my perspective is different than yours, but it doesn't mean that we have to disagree or fight or have, like, struggles.
Yeah.
As long as we stay open and we are curious and we ask questions,
Yeah, exactly.
we can understand each other better.
Yeah. And also there's the willingness, right? I mean, that's also why I somehow launched this channel, because sometimes I find it, especially from more like a Dutch perspective, when they see it's an expat, like, oh, they're here only for a couple years and then they
Yeah.
leave. And, oh, there are people that want to build a life here, they want to connect, they want to get to know you. And so that kind of openness, willingness, making connections, yeah, I think we should get rid of the word expat.
Yeah, yeah,
Huh? No, yeah, you're from Colombia. You're from my neighbors that are from Nicaragua. Yeah.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that
because
even
now,
take that away? That
Yeah.
already creates that kind of more equal kind of situation and willingness to get to know each other.
and even more nowadays
Yeah.
in the political situation we are in. So, yeah, maybe expat is not a good word. Yeah, in the end, we all try to build a good life at a certain place.
Yeah.
And
You also have a Colombian community here in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Do you also have a Dutch community in Colombia?
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah, because it's nice to have a couple of friends in Colombia or Bogota to talk, to speak in Dutch, because it was also very tiring to speak Spanish all day, to do everything in Spanish, work, job interviews, friendships. Yeah. So, sometimes it's nice also to share how you feel and maybe even complain about everything that's happening. Like, oh, yeah,
That's
like,
really
oh,
Dutch, Let's complain about stuff.
let's complain about
Lekker.
traffic in Bogota. Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have both, still some friends in Bogota, and here Colombian or Latin American friends. I also have friends from Brazil, Mexico, wherever. Like, yeah.
Sylvia, what is your good place?
Yeah, maybe, but this sounds a bit cheesy. But in the end, I think my good place should be me, right? Because I also experience that no matter where I live or where I go, I take myself, right? So I am everywhere. And sometimes people might think if I move there and I start my life, I build a new life, all my problems or issues will fade away, but that will not happen.
And then of course there's a Dutch Sylvia, and then there's a Spanish Sylvia, and there's a Brazilian Sylvia.
Yeah,
You can choose.
yeah. But do you want it more like a real place?
No.
No.
No. The good place has the different meanings
Yeah.
and different layers to
What's
it.
your good place?
Well, at the moment is to find the right balance between being a family man and enjoying it, and being a father and a partner, and following my own ambitions and dreams and creativity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's for me a good place.
Yeah.
And if I can do that in Amsterdam, The Hague, Valencia, Bogota.
Mhm. You should go to Colombia.
Yeah, I would love to. People, send me to Bogota, please.
You
for
need
every-
to interview someone in Bogota.
Yeah.
Ah, my friends.
Yeah.
I have a good friend there you can interview.
Yeah, maybe I should start with some Colombians here.
Yeah.
I would love that as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
if you're open to it.
Yeah.
Or anyone else from somewhere in Latin America.
No, I have someone in mind you need to meet. Yeah.
And maybe that's my ticket to Colombia. I don't know, like talking to you still, even like 10 years, from where we met last time around, you feel very, you got your, I don't even have to ask you, you feel like you're in a good place, like you got things, in place. It feels like you have a right mix of your passion and love for Latin America and a bit of where you were born.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
good. Also good for you. I mean, I mean that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's sweet of you. Yeah.
And arriving more at the end of this episode. Time flies when you're having fun. Is it product placement? Oof.
What is that?
These are the Good Place conversation cards.
Oh.
They're for sale. But when creating these, I felt like this should be also should become like an item of the conversation. So if you mind holding the mic, I'm gonna spread out the cards and you can pick one, and a question will pop up. If you don't like it, you can also just give it back.
Let's see if I want to answer the question.
Yeah, the different categories. Let's see,
okay.
there.
Ah,
A lot
but
of them.
I do it like this, yeah?
Okay, wait.
With my eyes closed.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
I think you are helping a bit. Oh, well, this is an interesting question.
Oh,
It goes back to the beginning of the chat.
okay.
The question is, do you prefer the mountains or the beach? And why?
Nice one.
Yeah, but very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, so going back to the south of Switzerland and my family in the mountains. And Bogota is actually, how do you say that? So Bogota is a city on altitude. I think it's 2,300 meters high. So there's like a platform kind of where they built the city. And I lived kind of a little bit up the hill. And when you enter Bogota from the airport, you see the mountains.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. That's what I love about Bogota. But I really like the beach. I love the beach.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't say I love the mountains.
No. So then I prefer the beach.
Okay.
If I have to choose, it's like I'm gonna die tomorrow. I can choose visiting the mountains or the beach. I go to the beach. Yeah. It gives me a lot of peace, and I like to. I feel more calm when I see the ocean.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does something to you, huh?
Yeah.
Therapeutic.
Yeah.
But then, I live close to the beach, but it needs to be nicer weather.
Yeah. Right now, I don't want to go.
So
to the
you can
beach.
enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Sil,
Yeah.
for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah, likewise.
Good
And I think maybe one day we can do another episode. Maybe when we're past 50 in Colombia, in Bogota, or somewhere at the beach.
Yeah.
And visit you in your second city.
Mhm.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Thanks for your time
Thank you.
and for standing the cold.
Yeah. Ooh.
We're good. For everyone watching, thanks so much for your time and attention. Of course, please follow, subscribe this channel, both on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And looking forward to seeing you next time at a new bench, new city, and new person. Have a nice day and talk to you soon.
Saludos. Un abrazo.